In today's world, we're constantly moving from one task to the next, navigating an endless stream of to-do lists, emails, phone calls, and meetings. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that multitasking is the way to get everything done. After all, it feels productive to juggle multiple tasks at once, doesn't it? But here's the truth. The more we switch between tasks, the more our brains get fatigued. The constant shifting not only reduces our efficiency but increases stress, leaving us feeling scattered and unproductive. What if there was a way to take control of your day, reduce mental clutter, and task batching is the practice of grouping similar tasks together and working on them in focused, uninterrupted time blocks. By doing so, you reduce the mental energy spent on switching between tasks and allow yourself to make faster, better decisions with less stress. Think about it. How many times do you start working on something only to get distracted by an email, a phone call, or a new task that needs your attention? Every time you switch gears, your brain needs to refocus, costing you precious mental energy and slowing you down. Task batching helps solve this problem by organizing your day in a way that minimizes distractions, giving you more energy and time for the work that matters most. Imagine a workday where your focus is uninterrupted, your energy is conserved, and you can feel confident that you're making progress toward your goals. Batching tasks isn't about working harder or faster, it's about working smarter. Instead of jumping from one thing to the next, batching helps you stay in a focused flow, allowing you to complete tasks in less time, with less mental strain, and with better results. But it's not just about productivity, it's also about reducing stress. The constant need to make decisions, prioritize tasks, and switch between activities can be mentally exhausting. Task batching provides structure and clarity, allowing you to tackle your day with a clear plan and a calm mind. By simplifying your workflow and eliminating the decision-making chaos, you can reduce the overwhelming pressure that comes with trying to do everything at once. In this audiobook, we'll dive deep into the concept of task batching. We'll explore why it works, how to implement it in your own life, and the many benefits it can bring from increased efficiency to lower stress levels. Whether you're trying to manage your workday more effectively, streamline your personal tasks, or simply create more time for the things that matter, task batching is a tool that can help you achieve those goals. By the end of this journey, you'll not only understand how to batch tasks effectively, but also how to integrate it into your daily routine in a way that works best for you. So, let's get started and discover how the power of batching can transform the way you work and live. Chapter 1. What is task batching and why does it work? Key insight. Task batching is the practice of grouping similar tasks together and completing them in focused blocks of time, leading to better efficiency and less mental exhaustion. In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly juggling tasks, responsibilities, and commitments. The digital age has brought us an overwhelming number of choices and distractions, and the traditional way of working, jumping from task to task, and attempting to multitask, often results in more stress and less productivity. Despite what many of us believe, multitasking doesn't help us get more done, it actually makes us less efficient. It's time to rethink the way we approach our work and consider a different strategy, task batching. But before we dive into how to implement task batching, let's first take a closer look at what it is, why it works, and how it can radically change the way you work and live. What is task batching? Task batching is a productivity strategy that involves grouping similar tasks together and completing them in focused blocks of time. Instead of jumping from one task to another, task batching encourages you to set aside specific periods during the day to work on a particular type of task, eliminating the need to switch gears constantly. For example, you might batch all of your emails into one block of time, or dedicate a set period each day for deep, focused work. The idea behind task batching is simple. Your brain works best when it is able to focus on one thing at a time. Each time you switch between tasks, you not only lose time but also waste energy, as your brain has to readjust and refocus. Task batching reduces these transitions, allowing you to stay immersed in a single task or category of tasks, resulting in faster completion times, improved focus, and less stress. This method applies to both work-related and personal tasks. Whether you're writing a report, responding to emails, doing household chores, or even grocery shopping, task batching helps you stay focused, organized, and more productive. The science behind task batching, why it works. To understand why task batching is effective, it's important to look at the science behind task switching and the cognitive load involved in decision-making. Our brains are not designed to constantly switch between tasks. Every time we do, we experience a cognitive cost, which in turn makes us less efficient. Cognitive load and mental fatigue. The concept of cognitive load refers to the amount of mental effort required to process information. When you switch between tasks, your brain has to devote additional energy to reorienting itself to the new task. This transition, called the switching cost, can take up to 23 minutes for the brain to fully re-engage, according to some studies. The more often you switch between tasks, the more mental energy you expend, and the more fatigued you become. This is why multitasking can be so exhausting. It forces the brain to constantly reorient itself, even if we're not fully aware of the mental toll it's taking. Task batching combats this issue by minimizing the number of switches you need to make throughout the day. When you group similar tasks together, you stay in the same cognitive mode, making the process smoother and less mentally taxing. For example, if you're writing a report and then switch to answering emails, your brain has to switch between creative thinking and administrative tasks. But if you schedule a block of time to write the report and another to answer emails, you can fully immerse yourself in one mode without exhausting your mental energy on transitions. The flow state and focused work. Another reason task batching works is because it allows you to enter a flow state, which is a mental state of complete immersion and focus in a task. Flow is when you're fully engaged in what you're doing. Losing track of flow is often associated with high-performing individuals and is crucial for producing high-quality work. Task batching enables you to enter this state by reducing interruptions and distractions. When you allocate a block of uninterrupted time for one specific task, you're giving yourself the space to dive deep into that work without constantly checking your phone, answering emails, or multitasking. This deep focus leads to better productivity and higher quality results because you're not constantly switching attention between competing priorities. How task batching reduces stress. One of the most significant benefits of task batching is how it reduces stress. Stress often arises from feeling overwhelmed by a never-ending list of tasks that require immediate attention. The constant decision-making, prioritizing, and shifting from one thing to the next can leave you feeling drained and anxious. Task batching helps you regain control by creating a clear, organized structure for your day. When you batch your tasks, you create designated time slots for specific activities. This structured approach gives you a sense of control over your day, reducing the uncertainty and chaos that often lead to stress. Instead of thinking, "I have so much to do, and I don't know where to start," batching helps you take things one step at a time, knowing that you have set aside specific periods for each type of task. For example, rather than jumping from meeting to meeting or answering emails in between tasks, you can set a specific time for each activity. This allows you to focus on one task at a time, knowing that there's a dedicated time to handle other tasks later. You've planned your day in advance, so you don't have to worry about what's coming next. This predictability brings a sense of calm and helps you stay focused. The benefits of task batching. Task batching is an easy-to-implement productivity tool that offers a range of benefits for both work and personal tasks. Here are some key advantages. Increased efficiency. By grouping similar tasks together, you eliminate the need to constantly reorient yourself between different types of tasks. This reduces the time spent switching gears and allows you to work faster and more efficiently. Higher quality work. When you batch tasks, you're able to dedicate your full attention and focus to a single task. This leads to higher quality output because you're not distracted by other tasks or constantly multitasking. Improved focus. Task batching allows you to immerse yourself in a specific task without interruptions. This extended period of focus helps you enter a flow state where you can produce your best work with less effort. Reduced decision fatigue. Every decision we make throughout the day depletes our mental energy. By batching similar tasks, you reduce the number of decisions you need to make. For example, deciding what to eat for every meal during the day can be mentally taxing. But if you batch meal planning and prep into one block of time, you eliminate that ongoing mental burden. Greater control and reduced stress. Task batching provides structure and predictability, which reduces the stress of feeling scattered or behind. When you allocate specific time blocks to specific tasks, you know exactly what to expect throughout the day, allowing you to work with purpose and calm. Real-world examples of task batching. To make the concept of task batching more tangible, let's look at some real-world examples of how you can apply it to your daily routine. These examples demonstrate how task batching can be used in both professional and personal settings. Professional task batching. Emails and communication. Rather than checking your email inbox constantly throughout the day, designate specific times to go through your emails in batches. For example, you could allocate 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the afternoon for email management. By grouping emails together, you save time and avoid the constant distraction of checking your inbox every few minutes. Meetings and calls. If you have several meetings or phone calls to make, batch them together into one block of time. For instance, you might schedule all your calls and meetings in the afternoon, leaving the morning for focused work. This allows you to stay in a productive mindset and ensures that your day isn't constantly interrupted by back-to-back meetings. Creative work. When you have a project that requires deep focus, such as writing a report or brainstorming ideas, set aside specific time blocks where you can work on that project without interruptions. Task batching helps you avoid multitasking, allowing you to dive into creative work without constantly checking your phone or switching between tasks. Personal task batching. Errands and chores. Running errands or completing household chores can easily take up more time than necessary if done sporadically throughout the week. Instead, batch these tasks together on a specific day. For example, you could set aside a couple of hours on Saturday to run all your errands, from grocery shopping to picking up dry cleaning. This way, you can knock out these tasks all at once, freeing up time for other activities during the week. Meal planning and prep. If you're trying to eat healthier or save time during the week, batch your meal planning and preparation. Dedicate one afternoon a week to planning your meals, grocery shopping, and prepping ingredients. This way, when the work week arrives, you don't have to spend time each day figuring out what to eat or rushing to make a meal. Instead, you can focus on other important tasks. Conclusion. The power of task batching. Task batching is a simple but powerful method for reducing mental fatigue, improving efficiency, and managing your time more effectively. By grouping similar tasks together and dedicating specific time blocks to each, you can eliminate the time wasted on task switching, enhance your focus, and reduce the mental strain that comes from juggling multiple things at once. Whether you're managing work tasks, personal projects, or daily chores, task batching helps you work smarter, not harder. By implementing task batching into your daily routine, you'll gain control over your schedule, reduce stress, and experience greater satisfaction with your work and accomplishments. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into how to identify the tasks that are best suited for batching and how to create a schedule that supports this method. Together, we'll build a practical approach to task batching that works for your unique lifestyle and goals. Chapter 2. Identifying tasks to batch. Key insight. The key to effective task batching is identifying tasks that are similar in nature and can be grouped together to save time and energy. Task batching is a powerful tool, but the key to using it effectively lies in selecting the right tasks to batch together. Not all tasks are created equal, and some tasks naturally work better when grouped together. The goal of batching isn't just to pile tasks into any available time block. It's about grouping similar activities that require the same type of focus or mental energy. When you batch the right tasks, you're able to accomplish more in less time with less effort. But how do you identify which tasks are best suited for batching? The answer lies in the nature of the tasks themselves. To effectively batch tasks, you need to understand their demands, how much focus, mental energy, and time each task requires. Once you understand this, you can begin to group tasks in a way that allows you to work efficiently and reduce the mental load that comes with constantly switching between tasks. In this chapter, we'll explore the process of identifying tasks to batch. We'll cover how to assess your daily activities, categorize tasks based on their nature, and strategically group them together. By the end of this chapter, you'll have a clear understanding of how to identify tasks that are ideal for batching and how to set yourself up for success. Step 1. Assess your daily tasks. The first step in identifying tasks to batch is to take an honest look at your daily routine. Start by writing down everything you do in a typical day, whether it's for work, personal tasks, or anything else. The goal is to get a comprehensive view of how you spend your time, so that you can identify patterns and group similar tasks together. For example, you might notice that your mornings are filled with administrative tasks like checking emails, scheduling meetings, and responding to messages. Your afternoons might be filled with deep, creative work like writing, brainstorming, or solving complex problems. Even personal tasks like meal planning, grocery shopping, or household chores can be categorized in a similar way. Once you have a list of all your tasks, the next step is to categorize them based on their nature. The key here is identifying tasks that require similar types of mental energy or focus. By doing this, you'll be able to group tasks together that naturally complement one another, rather than trying to batch tasks that demand entirely different types of mental energy. Step 2. Categorizing tasks based on mental energy. Different tasks require different types of mental energy. Some tasks are simple and routine, while others are complex and require deep focus. By categorizing your tasks according to their cognitive demands, you can group them in a way that minimizes mental fatigue and maximizes productivity. Low-energy tasks. Low-energy tasks are often simple, routine, and don't require much mental effort. These might include tasks like responding to emails, scheduling appointments, or organizing files. While they are necessary, they don't require your full attention, and they can be easily grouped together into a batch. For example, instead of checking your email every time you receive a notification or responding to messages throughout the day, you can dedicate a specific block of time to handle all your email communication. By doing this, you allow yourself to focus on other tasks without constantly shifting attention between work and communication. Other examples of low-energy tasks that can be batched include administrative work, filling out forms, organizing documents, or completing data entry, errands, running to the post office, picking up dry cleaning, or making phone calls that don't require much thought, household chores, doing laundry, cleaning, or tidying up. When you batch low-energy tasks, you avoid getting bogged down by these small but necessary tasks throughout the day. Instead, you handle them all in one focused session, leaving more energy for other work. High-energy tasks. High-energy tasks, on the other hand, are those that require deep focus and concentration. These tasks might include creative work, problem-solving, strategic planning, or anything that demands critical thinking and mental effort. High-energy tasks require longer periods of focused work, and switching between them can be particularly draining. Examples of high-energy tasks include creative work, writing, designing, coding, brainstorming ideas, or working on any other task that requires imagination and focus. Strategic planning, analyzing data, setting goals, developing business strategies, or making important decisions. Deep work, anything that requires long, uninterrupted focus, such as working on a complex project or solving a challenging problem. To batch high-energy tasks, you need to set aside large blocks of uninterrupted time where you can focus entirely on that task. The key here is to eliminate distractions and create an environment where you can fully immerse yourself in the task at hand. This type of batching is most effective when you have a clear goal and a solid plan for your focused work. Step 3. Grouping tasks that align with your goals. Once you've categorized your tasks based on mental energy, the next step is to group them in a way that aligns with your personal or professional goals. Some tasks may naturally fit into larger projects or long-term objectives, while others may simply be routine tasks that support your daily functioning. For example, if one of your goals is to improve your writing skills, you could batch tasks related to writing and research. This might include writing blog posts, working on an article, reading articles for research, or brainstorming new ideas. Instead of switching between different types of tasks throughout the day, you can allocate specific blocks of time for your writing-related tasks. This allows you to stay focused on your writing goal and make continuous progress toward it. Similarly, if your goal is to enhance your productivity at work, you could group all the tasks that support that goal, such as scheduling meetings, setting up time blocks for focused work, or organizing your workspace. This type of batching creates a structured plan for achieving your productivity objectives without the distractions of jumping between unrelated tasks. By aligning your batching system with your long-term goals, you create a sense of purpose in your daily routine. You'll see how the smaller tasks support your bigger objectives, and you'll be able to focus on what matters most without getting lost in the weeds of smaller, less important tasks. Step 4. Handling interruptions and unforeseen tasks. While batching tasks is an effective strategy, it's important to recognize that life isn't always predictable. Sometimes, tasks arise that interrupt your flow or need to be dealt with immediately. However, by batching your tasks, you can handle these interruptions with more ease and control. The key is to acknowledge that not everything will go according to plan, but with batching, you can manage interruptions more effectively. Here are a few ways to deal with unforeseen tasks while still maintaining your batching strategy. Delegate tasks. If an interruption requires a decision or action that can be handled by someone else, delegate it. For example, if you're in the middle of a focused work session and receive a request from a colleague, determine if the task can be passed off to them. Delegating allows you to maintain focus on your batch tasks without losing momentum. Time block for interruptions. If you know that certain interruptions, such as meetings, phone calls, or urgent emails, are common in your day, build buffer time into your schedule. For example, you might dedicate the first 15 minutes of each hour for unexpected tasks, giving yourself room to deal with them without derailing your task batching. Prioritize the unforeseen tasks. If an interruption requires your immediate attention, assess its urgency and importance. If it's critical, address it. If it's not urgent, note it down and return to it later during your scheduled batch time. The ability to handle interruptions and unforeseen tasks while still maintaining your batching schedule comes with practice. As you gain experience with batching, you'll learn how to adapt and maintain focus even when things don't go as planned. Step 5. Reviewing and adjusting your task batching system. Task batching is a flexible tool, and it's important to regularly review and adjust your batching system to ensure that it remains effective and aligned with your goals. As your work, responsibilities, and personal life evolve, your batching system should evolve as well. At the end of each week, take a moment to reflect on how your batching system worked for you. Did you accomplish your goals? Were there tasks that didn't fit well together? Did you experience any frustrations or challenges in maintaining your batching schedule? By asking yourself these questions, you'll be able to fine-tune your system for greater efficiency. You might discover that you need to adjust your time blocks, reassign certain tasks, or even incorporate new strategies to handle tasks more effectively. Remember, task batching is about creating a system that works for you. It's not about perfection, but about finding what allows you to be your most focused and productive self. Regular adjustments will help you maintain a balanced approach and ensure that you're always working toward your personal and professional goals with clarity and purpose. Conclusion: mastering the art of task batching. Effective task batching begins with identifying the tasks that are best suited for this method. By assessing the nature of your tasks, categorizing them based on mental energy, and aligning them with your goals, you can create a batching system that helps you work smarter, not harder. Task batching doesn't just make you more productive. It helps you approach your day with a sense of control and structure. By grouping similar tasks together, you reduce mental fatigue, increase focus, and reduce the stress of constantly shifting between unrelated tasks. The key to successful batching is knowing which tasks to prioritize, how to structure your day, and how to adapt your system as your needs change. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to create a task batching schedule that works for you. We'll discuss how to allocate time blocks effectively, plan your day for maximum productivity, and stay committed to your batching system for long-term success. Chapter 3. Creating a task batching schedule. Key insight: to batch tasks effectively, create a clear and intentional schedule that allows you to dedicate blocks of time to specific task categories. As we've explored in previous chapters, task batching is a powerful strategy that can help you be more productive, reduce stress, and make better use of your mental energy. But batching tasks is only effective if you have a solid plan in place. To truly harness the power of batching, you need to create a task batching schedule that works for your unique needs and lifestyle. Creating a task batching schedule isn't about rigidly structuring every moment of your day. It's about finding the right balance of flexibility and organization that enables you to get the most important tasks done while minimizing distractions and overwhelm. A well-crafted schedule ensures that you're dedicating focused time to the tasks that matter most, while also giving you the space to take breaks, handle unexpected tasks, and maintain a sense of control over your day. In this chapter, we'll dive into the steps you need to take to build an effective task batching schedule. We'll cover how to allocate time for different types of tasks, set priorities, avoid burnout, and make sure your schedule is adaptable to changing needs. By the end of this chapter, you'll have a clear understanding of how to structure your time to make the most of task batching and achieve your goals with greater efficiency and less stress. Step 1. Start with a time audit. Before you can create an effective task batching schedule, it's important to understand how you're currently spending your time. A time audit is a simple yet powerful exercise that allows you to track how much time you're spending on various activities throughout the day. This is the first step in creating a schedule that works for you because it gives you insight into where your time is going and where you may need to make adjustments. To conduct a time audit, simply track your activities for a few days, whether it's for work, personal tasks, or leisure activities. You can use a notebook, a time tracking app, or a digital spreadsheet to record how much time you spend on each task. Be as specific as possible. Instead of just writing work, break it down into subcategories, such as responding to emails, meetings, or project work. Do the same for personal tasks like grocery shopping, cooking, or exercising. After tracking your time for a few days, review your results. You'll likely find that there are certain activities that take up more time than you realized. There may also be opportunities to batch similar tasks together to save time or eliminate unnecessary activities that are consuming more of your day than necessary. A time audit helps you identify patterns in your behavior and see where you can optimize your time for more effective batching. It also gives you a realistic understanding of how much time you have available to dedicate to different tasks, making it easier to plan your day. Step 2. Categorize your tasks. Once you've completed your time audit, it's time to categorize your tasks. In Chapter 2, we discussed the importance of grouping similar tasks together based on their mental energy requirements. This categorization is a crucial step in creating a task batching schedule, as it helps you allocate your time more strategically and ensures that you're batching the right tasks together. Here's how you can categorize your tasks. Administrative tasks. These are tasks that keep things running smoothly, but don't require much creative energy. Examples include answering emails, scheduling meetings, filing documents, making phone calls, and managing your calendar. These tasks are typically short and can be batched into specific blocks of time, such as 30 minutes in the morning and another 30 minutes in the afternoon. Creative work. Creative tasks require deep focus and mental effort. Examples include writing, designing, brainstorming, content creation, or any task that demands innovation. These tasks are best handled in longer, uninterrupted blocks of time, as switching between them can disrupt your creative flow. Deep work. These tasks are high priority, high impact activities that require your full attention and cognitive resources. Examples include working on important projects, problem solving, strategic planning, or analysis. Deep work requires extended periods of focus, and it's crucial that you schedule it during times when you are mentally sharp and free of distractions. Personal tasks. Personal tasks include everything from errands and household chores to fitness and self-care. These are necessary but often low-priority tasks that can add up over the course of a day. By batching personal tasks, such as grocery shopping or doing laundry, you can free up more time for focused work. Meetings and calls. These are often interruptions to your work but are still necessary. Meetings and calls can be batched together into specific periods of the day to prevent them from interrupting deep work or creative tasks. For example, you might schedule all your calls and meetings in the afternoon, leaving the mornings free for focused work. Once you've categorized your tasks, you'll have a clearer picture of which activities can be grouped together for batching. You can now begin to allocate time blocks for each category in your schedule. Step 3. Time. Blocking your batches. Time blocking is one of the most effective techniques for implementing task batching. It's a method of scheduling where you set aside specific, uninterrupted periods of time to focus on particular tasks or categories of tasks. By designating time for each group of tasks, you ensure that you're working on the right things at the right time without distractions. To time block effectively, start by looking at your calendar and creating blocks for each of your task categories. For example, if you know that you're most productive in the mornings, you might allocate that time for deep work, like writing or project development. In the afternoons, you could schedule time for meetings and administrative tasks like email and phone calls. You can also dedicate specific time for personal errands and activities, such as exercising or doing laundry. Be sure to block out time for breaks as well. Task batching works best when you're fully focused, but it's important to give your brain a rest. Short breaks between time blocks can help you recharge and maintain your productivity throughout the day. As you create your time blocks, it's important to be realistic about how much time each task will take. Don't overschedule yourself or try to batch too many tasks into one block. For example, if you need to write a report, don't expect to complete it in a 30-minute block. Instead, allocate a longer period, perhaps an hour or two, so that you can dive deep into the task without feeling rushed. Step 4. Prioritize your tasks. Prioritization is essential to creating an effective task batching schedule. You can batch tasks all you want, but if you're not focusing on the most important tasks first, you risk wasting time on low-priority activities. Prioritizing tasks ensures that you're working on what matters most, and it helps you stay on track throughout the day. To prioritize your tasks, start by identifying your top priorities for the day, week, and month. What are the tasks that will have the most significant impact on your goals? These are the tasks that should receive the bulk of your focus and time. For example, if you're working on a major project, make sure that your time blocks for deep work are dedicated to that project. If you're trying to improve your health, prioritize time for exercise and self-care. Once you've identified your priorities, make sure that you allocate enough time in your schedule to tackle them. This might mean blocking out large chunks of time for deep work or batching creative tasks into focused sessions. It also means making sure that your low-priority tasks don't take up too much of your time, allowing your most important tasks to shine. Step 5. Be flexible and adjust. While task batching is a great way to structure your day and increase efficiency, life doesn't always go as planned. You may encounter unexpected tasks or interruptions that throw off your schedule. That's why it's important to remain flexible and adjust as needed. When creating your batching schedule, leave room for flexibility. If a meeting runs over, or if an urgent task pops up, adjust your time blocks accordingly. You can move tasks around, but the key is to ensure that the time you've allocated for batching remains protected. For example, if an email reply session takes longer than planned, try to shift less important tasks to accommodate it, rather than abandoning the task batching altogether. You can also experiment with different time blocking strategies. Try batching tasks in longer blocks to see how you work best, or experiment with shorter, more frequent blocks. Regularly assess your progress and adjust your batching schedule based on what's working and what's not. Step 6. Evaluate and refine your schedule. The final step in creating a successful task batching schedule is to evaluate and refine it regularly. After a few weeks of using your task batching schedule, take a moment to reflect on how it's working for you. Are you completing tasks more efficiently? Are you feeling less stressed or more in control of your day? Or are there still bottlenecks in your workflow that need attention? By evaluating your batching schedule periodically, you can identify areas for improvement and make adjustments to make it more effective. For instance, you might find that certain tasks require more time than you initially estimated, or you might realize that some activities can be batched together more effectively. Continually refining your schedule ensures that you're working at your optimal level and making the most of your time. Conclusion: mastering the task batching schedule. Creating an effective task batching schedule requires intentional planning, self-awareness, and flexibility. By starting with a time audit, categorizing your tasks, and allocating specific time blocks for focused work, you set yourself up for success. Prioritizing your tasks and leaving room for flexibility helps ensure that your batching schedule works with your lifestyle and goals. Task batching isn't about rigidly structuring every minute of your day. It's about creating a plan that aligns with your priorities, reduces mental fatigue, and maximizes your productivity. With practice, you'll become more adept at batching tasks and maintaining focus, allowing you to achieve your goals with greater efficiency and less stress. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to handle unexpected interruptions while still maintaining your task batching flow, so you can stay on track even when things don't go as planned. Chapter 4. Overcoming challenges with batching. Key insight: While task batching is an incredibly effective strategy, it's not without its challenges. By understanding and addressing potential obstacles, you can fine-tune your approach and use batching to its fullest potential. Implementing task batching into your life may sound simple in theory, but like any new system, there are challenges to overcome along the way. Whether it's unexpected interruptions, procrastination, or simply struggling to get started, these challenges can make it difficult to fully realize the benefits of batching. However, the good news is that these obstacles are not insurmountable. With the right strategies, you can overcome them and make batching work for you. In this chapter, we'll explore some of the common challenges you might encounter when task batching, as well as effective solutions to help you push through and maintain momentum. By addressing these challenges head-on, you'll be able to create a more efficient, less stressful routine that allows you to achieve your goals and stay focused throughout the day. Challenge 1. Difficulty in getting started. One of the most common hurdles when implementing task batching is simply getting started. We often feel overwhelmed by the idea of planning out our entire day or week and procrastinate when it comes to creating a schedule or sticking to the time blocks we've set. This resistance comes from the perceived effort involved in getting started. We may delay diving into the task altogether or waste time before actually beginning the work. Solution: break it down into small steps. To overcome this, break the task of batching into smaller, more manageable steps. Instead of planning your entire day or week at once, focus on one time block at a time. Start with one small batch, like answering emails or tidying your workspace. By focusing on one small task, you'll reduce the feeling of overwhelm and ease into your schedule. Another strategy is to use the 5-minute rule. Commit to working on a task for just 5 minutes. Often, this is enough to overcome the initial resistance and get into the flow. Once you start, you'll likely continue working for longer than planned, and the task will become easier. Challenge 2. Unforeseen interruptions and distractions. Interruptions are inevitable. Whether it's an urgent email, a phone call, or a colleague dropping by, these distractions can throw off your batching schedule and derail your focus. When you're deep into a task, switching your focus to something else can break your mental flow, and refocusing takes time. The more frequently this happens, the harder it becomes to stay in the zone. Solution: build buffer time and use strategic breaks. To manage interruptions, build buffer time into your schedule. If you've blocked out 2 hours for deep work, include 10-15 minutes between sessions to handle minor disruptions. This time allows you to reset and manage interruptions without derailing your entire schedule. Another helpful strategy is to schedule short breaks during your batches. Breaks give you time to handle small interruptions or recharge your focus. For example, after completing a task batch, take a 5-minute break before moving on to the next. You can also communicate your schedule to others. Let colleagues, family, or housemates know when you need uninterrupted time. Setting clear boundaries helps minimize distractions and keeps you on track. Challenge 3. Procrastination and the "I'll do it later" syndrome. Procrastination is a natural hurdle in any productivity system. Even with a carefully planned batching schedule, we can find ourselves avoiding tasks or pushing them off until later. Procrastination usually arises from fear of failure, perfectionism, or feeling overwhelmed by the task at hand. When we think too much about the effort involved, it can create resistance and prevent us from getting started. Solution: use the 2-minute rule and focus on progress. To beat procrastination, apply the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. While this rule applies to smaller tasks, its principle can be extended to batching. If a task feels overwhelming, break it into smaller steps. The act of starting and completing one small part can create momentum making the rest of the task easier. Also, focus on progress instead of perfection. It's tempting to think tasks must be completed flawlessly, but the goal of batching is efficiency, not perfection. Celebrate the small wins and focus on completing the task, not on achieving perfection. This mindset will reduce the fear of starting and help you maintain forward momentum. Challenge 4. Maintaining flexibility in your schedule. Although batching brings structure to your day, life isn't always predictable. Unexpected tasks and changes can throw off your carefully planned schedule. If you're too rigid, even minor disruptions can make it hard to stick to your batching plan. The challenge lies in balancing structure with flexibility, ensuring your batching system adapts to new circumstances without falling apart. Solution: build flexibility into your batching schedule. To overcome this, allow room for adjustments. When creating your batching schedule, leave space for flexibility. Build in buffer time between tasks, and consider adding catch-up periods during the day or week. These open periods allow you to adjust your plan and handle any urgent tasks that come up. Reevaluate your schedule regularly. At the start of each day or week, review your priorities and make any necessary changes to your batching blocks. By staying flexible, you ensure that you're working efficiently while still leaving room for the unexpected. Challenge 5. Task batching leads to mental fatigue. While batching can reduce the cognitive load from task switching, it's possible to overdo it. Batching too many tasks into a single time block or concentrating for extended periods without breaks can lead to mental exhaustion, leaving you feeling drained by the end of the day. Solution: balance intensity with rest. To prevent mental fatigue, balance your high-energy tasks with lower-energy ones. For instance, after a deep work batch, engage in lighter tasks, like answering emails or doing some quick administrative work. This way, you can still be productive without overwhelming yourself. It's also important to structure your batches with appropriate timeframes. Most people's attention span peaks at around 90 minutes, after which concentration tends to dip. To combat mental fatigue, break up your batching sessions into manageable chunks and schedule breaks every hour or so. These breaks will help you reset, and when you return to work, you'll feel more energized and focused. Challenge 6. Sticking to your batching routine long-term. Consistency is critical for task batching to be effective, but sticking to a routine long-term can be challenging. The excitement of trying a new productivity method may fade, and old habits may sneak back in, causing us to slip back into multitasking or constantly switching tasks. Solution: track progress and stay accountable. One way to stay committed to task batching is to track your progress. Keeping a daily or weekly journal of how well you've followed your batching schedule can help you stay on track and evaluate what's working or needs improvement. Use a notebook, a digital app, or a simple spreadsheet to monitor your progress and identify patterns. Accountability can also help you maintain consistency. Share your task batching goals with someone, whether it's a friend, co-worker, or mentor. Regular check-ins or accountability partners provide motivation and encourage you to stick with the process, even when it gets tough. Reward yourself when you hit milestones. Whether it's completing a week of successful batching or accomplishing a particularly challenging task, acknowledging your achievements gives you a sense of satisfaction and encourages continued progress. Challenge 7. Feeling overwhelmed by the complexity of batching. While task batching is a simple concept, it can feel overwhelming if you try to apply it to too many tasks at once. You may start to feel like your schedule is too rigid, or you may worry that batching isn't working the way you envisioned it. Solution: start small and build gradually. If batching feels overwhelming, start small. Instead of overhauling your entire day, begin by batching just 1 or 2 categories of tasks. For instance, dedicate 30 minutes in the morning to handle emails and 90 minutes in the afternoon for a focused work session. Once you get comfortable with this, expand your batching schedule to include more tasks. Remember, the goal of batching is to simplify your workflow, not complicate it. Keep your batching system simple and adaptable, gradually adding more blocks of time as you get more comfortable with the process. It's not about creating the perfect schedule. It's about finding what works best for you. Conclusion: turning challenges into opportunities. Task batching is an incredibly powerful productivity tool, but it's not without its challenges. Whether it's difficulty getting started, managing interruptions, or overcoming procrastination, these obstacles are part of the process. The key is to recognize them and develop strategies to navigate them effectively. By using the solutions we've discussed, such as breaking tasks into smaller steps, building flexibility into your schedule, and tracking progress, you can overcome these challenges and create a task batching system that works for you. Remember, task batching is a dynamic process that requires regular adjustments. It's not about achieving perfection, it's about making steady progress and finding a rhythm that suits your needs. The challenges you face are not roadblocks, they are opportunities for growth and learning. With persistence and flexibility, you can refine your batching system, increase your productivity, and reduce stress. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to optimize your batching system and continue improving your approach for long-term success. Chapter 5. Leveraging technology to streamline task batching. Key insight. Technology, when used strategically, can significantly enhance your task batching efforts by keeping you organized, minimizing distractions, and automating routine tasks. In the digital age, technology is a powerful ally in streamlining your workflow and enhancing productivity. While task batching is an effective strategy on its own, using the right tools can take it to the next level. With the right technology, you can automate routine tasks, stay organized, minimize distractions, and ensure that your batching system works efficiently. However, the key to leveraging technology for task batching is to choose the right tools and integrate them into your routine without allowing them to become overwhelming or distracting. The goal is to use technology to support your batching process, not to create additional complexity. In this chapter, we'll explore the various technological tools and strategies that can make your task batching system more efficient, organized, and effective. Time management and scheduling apps. One of the most fundamental tools for task batching is time management. Having a clear schedule is essential for batching tasks effectively, and digital calendars and scheduling apps are indispensable for this purpose. Tools like Google Calendar, Microsoft Outlook, and Apple Calendar allow you to block out specific periods of time for different task batches, ensuring that you stay on track and focus on one type of task at a time. Time blocking with digital calendars. Time blocking is an effective technique for batching tasks, and using a digital calendar makes this process much easier. A digital calendar lets you allocate specific blocks of time for each task or group of tasks, providing a clear visual structure for your day. By color-coding different types of tasks, for example, work, meetings, errands, personal, you can quickly identify where your time is being spent and ensure that you're adhering to your batching schedule. For example, you could schedule uninterrupted time in the morning for creative tasks like writing or brainstorming, and reserve afternoons for administrative tasks such as responding to emails and phone calls. When you time block your batches in your calendar, you eliminate the need to constantly decide what to work on next, which streamlines your workflow and reduces decision fatigue. Setting, reminders, and alerts. Another advantage of using scheduling apps is the ability to set reminders or alerts. These notifications can remind you when it's time to start a new task batch or when your current batch is about to end. This ensures that you stay on schedule and don't waste time trying to remember when to transition from one task to the next. Alerts are especially helpful if you tend to get immersed in tasks and lose track of time. helping you maintain a steady, productive flow throughout your day. Task management apps. While time management tools are essential for structuring your day, task management apps are key to organizing the actual tasks you'll be batching. Apps like Trello, Asana, and Todoist allow you to create and categorize tasks, set deadlines, and track your progress. These tools can help you create task lists for different categories of work and break larger projects down into smaller, manageable chunks. Organizing tasks by categories. Task management apps allow you to categorize tasks, which makes it easier to group similar tasks together for batching. For example, in Trello, you can create different boards for various projects or areas of your life. For example, work, personal tasks, creative projects. Within each board, you can create lists for specific types of tasks, such as emails, research, or meetings. When you open the app, you'll be able to see at a glance which tasks need to be batched together and when. In Asana, you can create projects for different areas of work, and within those projects, create tasks for specific actions. By organizing tasks in this way, you can quickly see what you need to work on during a specific time block and avoid distractions. You can also set deadlines and assign priorities to tasks, which can help you batch high-priority tasks first. Automation of routine tasks. Another feature that many task management apps offer is automation. For example, Zapier and IFTTT are tools that can automate repetitive tasks by connecting different apps and services. For instance, you can set up an automation that automatically adds a new email to your task list or creates a task in Asana every time you receive a specific type of email. These tools can save you time by reducing the need to manually input tasks, allowing you to focus on completing them during your scheduled batching blocks. Automation can also help you streamline the process of task batching by scheduling recurring tasks. For example, if you have a weekly report to submit, you can set a recurring task in your task management app to remind you to complete it every Friday. This helps ensure that batching becomes a consistent and reliable part of your routine. Focus, apps, and distraction blockers. One of the biggest challenges in task batching is staying focused during your designated time blocks. Technology can help with this by blocking distractions and keeping you focused on the task at hand. Focus apps and website blockers help you eliminate the temptation to check social media, browse the web, or engage in other distractions during your batching sessions. Focus timers, for example, Pomodoro technique. Apps like Focus Booster, Be Focused, and Tomato Timer are based on the Pomodoro technique, a time management method that encourages working in 2 5-minute intervals followed by a short break. This technique is especially useful for task batching because it provides a structure for working in short bursts of focused activity. These apps allow you to set a timer for your work and break periods, keeping you on track and ensuring that you stay focused during your batching sessions. By using focus timers, you reduce the mental strain of trying to monitor your time manually, and you ensure that you are working in a focused, intentional way. This system helps you maintain high levels of productivity and prevents burnout, which is essential for keeping your task batching schedule sustainable over time. Website and app blockers. Another helpful tool is website and app blockers. Apps like Freedom, Stay Focused, and Cold Turkey allow you to block distracting websites and apps during your focused work sessions. For example, you can set these blockers to prevent access to social media or news websites while you're working on a batch of tasks. This reduces the likelihood of getting sidetracked and ensures that your time blocks are truly productive. You can set these blockers to apply only during specific time blocks, giving you full control over when and where you're allowing distractions to interfere with your work. This can be especially useful when you're batching creative work or deep work, where maintaining focus is crucial for producing quality results. Task batching apps for personal tasks. In addition to work-related task management, You can also use technology to batch personal tasks, such as running errands, managing household chores, or organizing personal projects. Apps like Todoist or Google Keep can help you track personal tasks and create separate lists for different types of activities. For example, you might create a personal tasks list and batch activities like grocery shopping, meal planning, and scheduling personal appointments into specific time blocks. These apps allow you to set due dates, reminders, and priorities for personal tasks, ensuring that they don't slip through the cracks. Furthermore, for tasks that require planning, such as meal prepping or home organization, you can use apps like Evernote or Notion to keep track of ideas, make to-do lists, and break larger tasks into smaller, actionable steps. This makes batching personal tasks feel more manageable and less overwhelming. Conclusion: streamlining your task. Batching with technology. Leveraging technology for task batching can significantly improve your efficiency and productivity, allowing you to stay organized and focused while minimizing distractions. Whether you're using digital calendars to schedule time blocks, task management apps to organize your workload, or focus tools to maintain concentration, technology has the power to enhance your task batching experience and make it easier to stick to your goals. The key is to use these tools strategically and not get bogged down by complexity. Find the technology that best supports your batching strategy, whether it's for work, personal tasks, or both, and integrate it into your routine in a way that helps you stay productive and focused. By combining the power of task batching with the right technology, you'll be able to achieve more in less time with less stress. Key insight: task batching isn't just a productivity technique. It's a way to reclaim control over your time, reduce stress, and work smarter, not harder. Throughout this audiobook, we've explored how task batching can transform the way you work by grouping similar tasks together and dedicating focused blocks of time to each. Whether you're tackling work tasks, personal responsibilities, or daily errands, batching allows you to streamline your workflow, reduce the cognitive load of constant task switching, and ultimately achieve more with less mental exhaustion. By now, you've learned that task batching is more than just a time management strategy. It's a mindset shift. It's about taking charge of your day, minimizing distractions, and fostering a more intentional, focused approach to your work. When you batch tasks, you're not just getting through your to-do list. You're creating an environment where you can work with purpose and clarity, free from the chaos that often leads to burnout. But batching isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It's about adapting the method to fit your unique life, goals, and challenges. Whether it's using technology to stay organized, building in flexibility to accommodate interruptions, or learning how to handle procrastination and distractions, the key is consistency. By making task batching a habit and continuously refining your approach, you'll find that your productivity soars and stress levels drop. As you move forward, remember that task batching isn't just about getting more done, it's about reclaiming your time and energy. It's about making smarter choices with how you allocate your focus, ensuring that you have time for what matters most, both professionally and personally. The more you implement and refine batching in your life, the more you'll experience the clarity, focus, and peace of mind that comes from working in a structured, intentional way. With the tools and strategies you've learned, you're now equipped to batch your way to better efficiency, reduced stress, and ultimately, a more productive, balanced life.